this Sunday, and next week's going to be kind of a fun little like international flavor episode week. I'm interviewing my second ever 10-year-old or 12-year-old. She's already got 2 books published. I kind
Get
of feel
out.
I know I feel inadequate. I feel
Yeah, right.
so inadequate.
Oh,
Hi, what happens? Like I got 2 books, and one of them's even got an award now. It's like what?
you okay? Great. I'm so happy for you. God damn it.
Like, I'm so happy for you. What am I doing with my life? What am I doing?
Well, I'll be telling my therapist about that one. Whew.
You gotta accept. See, this is the ego thing about this. You have to accept the fact that the skills you've worked at, the people coming up behind you, are better than you. At least that's the hope. That's the hope. That's the hope.
As a social creature, I do hope for that. As an individual who's worked really hard, can't y'all just be like 10% worse than me until I die?
No, because see, here's the thing. It'll make you better if they're better than you. See, that's the thing. It actually makes you better. God damn it! I know. I actually see. I see this whole iron sharpens iron thing is very true. And you want this generations coming up to have their shit more together than you did, because you now learn what they've learned. You have the benefit, but see, it doesn't. There are benefits. See, you do have more experience than the 10-year-old that's got 2 books written and stuff, right? You do have more experience, maybe, as she goes and she drinks now. It's maybe a little bit harder than it's like a little bit harder. Like, I hate my life. What am I doing with it? But the thing about that is, right? So I've interviewed a 16-year-old pop singer. I've interviewed a when she was 16. I interviewed her when she was 19 now, and she, oh my God, like way ahead of where I was at that age in terms of maturity, right? In terms of like Jesus, right? Just has it on the ball, has the discipline. It made me realize that was what sports could have given me had I chosen to do it, is that discipline. Instead of learning it the hard way, right? Well, mostly. I mean, I'm an art. I've still got that little bit of flaky artist, but how to put this? Since we talked, but all of which to say. So I got like this really cool week of guests coming up. But you want to always have somebody better to aspire to, and honestly, no matter how high you come up, you want the people coming up behind you to do it better than you, because that means there's even hope for you, more things for you to achieve, more things. Again, it's not. I can look. I will have to accept the fact that there are 10-year-olds with their shit more together than me. I will have to just accept that fact. It's a sobering thing. It's like, hey, I still got more work to do, right? And just the thing, I'm older than you. I'm turning 40 in like a month, so.
Mazel tov! Congratulations.
Yeah. So I'm older than you. So
it's true.
Realizing that I like, and again, there are days like right this minute, I'm still in my grandmother's house going, what the fuck am I doing here? But this was a necessary step back, right? See, and that's the thing. Like, there's on the same token, since we last talked, I've had 7 articles written for different magazines stuff, and 2 of them have been published. 2 of them have been published. One's probably going to be published next month. I know one's going to be published in October. I don't know when the other 2, and I'm working the last one, kind of working on right now. So if you look at my freelance itinerary, it's gone up considerably. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait for the more releases, because it's just going to make my resume look that much better when they are released.
Yeah.
Writers, I shouldn't name them, but they actually are coming to me to request articles, actually, which is kind of a fun thing. And they trusted me enough to actually do them all, because I did them all. And so yeah, it was cool to do that. I got like a magazine in the Pacific Northwest. I got an article coming out there in October.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did. I've written about celebrities for like the first time ever. I got another. I actually have a celebrity article. I can come like from 2 angles. So I'm going to actually break them both tonight, and one of them will get published, one of them won't. But it's still a sample I can throw on my website if nothing else, right?
Yeah, so, it's been written.
Yeah. Well, it's been written, but it also just gives you something like, this is what I do when I do people, right? And because my again, niches are important. Mine are interviews, right?
Yeah, that's what you do almost every day.
Yeah, so it's my skill. It's my skill.
Yeah.
I'm good at it. I actually know how to talk to people. sometimes. I know it pissed people off too, but I did that a little bit too.
It comes with the territory, you know. If you're gonna talk to people come in all flavors. But that's great. Congratulations.
Cool.
You know, about that kid who, the 10-year-old with 2 books. Okay, yeah, that's true. They exist. And yes, we are learning from them and they're learning from us. And ideally, it's a back and forth and you keep getting better and better. And I don't want to make any assumptions. I don't know any kid who achieves that much without having the support of a stable home life and the community backing them up and all these other things. You know, it's not just the kid being excellent, it is everybody around them building them up, right? So if, you know, for your listeners out there and for the part of Shani that feels slightly inadequate, right? It's not me. It's them.
Well, here's the thing. You like, this is what, like, see, here's the thing. I do drinking draws now with these, like, in some cases, world-class artists, like world-class. So what you learn doing stuff like that is it really doesn't matter where you're at. Like honestly, this isn't a race. Like, the one thing that I recognize about this whole journey is, yeah, I took a big step back. I took a big leap. I went out there and I made a decision. I walked away from my job when in this environment would have been stable. Like, I said, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. If I don't do this now, I'll never do this. And that thought made me that would be like a full bottle. I would have a bottle. I'd be like downing it. Like, oh God, I'm here for the rest of, like, that was where I was at.
I'll never do this.
Yes. So I mean, but where I'm at, like I said, and I am talking about the other thing too. I got sponsors. Like, this is the last episode. This is the last episode without a sponsor actually in here. I'm actually going to be doing, yeah,
that's huge.
Yeah. Now there are different sponsors. I got sponsors all the way lined up till December, so that's kind of cool. I want to get more, obviously, but just for promote books, Kickstarters, things of that nature. And folks, I'm going to mention this at the end of the episode as well. If you want to be supported. Also, I hit my first 1,000 play download week ever for the podcast.
Wow. 1,000 people have said, you know what? I'll download this. That's awesome.
In a week.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no. I 1,000. So my average prior to last month was around 2,000, give or take. Last month was 3.
Yeah.
My numbers have actually been going up more and more and more as time has gone on. I think even though, like, Twitch, like the Twitch community, the Twitch stream, has always kind of been it's kind of been a mixed bag.
Yeah.
The thing about that, it's about scale. What I've noticed is since I've been doing it here, my numbers for my audio have jumped dramatically, even though my video stuff is small. Somehow doing it this way has actually increased my list, and I'm not sure why exactly, but
that's so odd given that you're drink and draw, which has a visual element, right? So people are listening to what you have to say, but they don't want to see what you're doing.
Well, well, I've only done about 100. Like, this is the weird thing, okay? So when I started doing this podcast, I got to about 125 episodes. Like, I'm insane. Just for the record, I am insane.
Clinically.
Possibly. Possibly. I'm not going to deny anything at this point. But the thing about that is I was like, is anyone listening? And literally the next day, I get this thing called, hey, Mr. Aurora, can you been a non? Like, that was literally around actually a little close, 150. It was 150 when I did that. And it's weird because it was weird to me because what tends to happen in those situations is you would think that no one would want to listen or watch and stuff like that. But the more you do them, the more often you do them, and suddenly I have an audience in the Netherlands. I have never, like, what the hell? I have an audience in Switzerland. I don't know why. I don't know how.
Wow, that's so random.
So no, that's the thing, right? You never know what happens when you do these things. Also, I think part of it too is I've been applying. Like I said, I've been applying for like more corporate kind of jobs, remote corporate kind of jobs,
Yeah.
because I don't really want to go into an office, but I don't mind. Again, I am a notorious whore. I'll admit it right here on the air. Right? It's like I will work for the right price, and that's just the way it is. But I don't want to do. But I don't want to go back and do a normal job anymore. I just don't. And so, yeah.
What is normal? Because what's normalized is different from what's normal. It's
Oh, no,
normalized to underpay
this is true.
people. But, you know, there's a reason why business to business email writing is a thing. Business to business clientele, they have the income. They know who their clients are. They just need a service done. If you can do that service, and we're talking corporate too, corporate to business, corporate to corporate, they know what they want. You're not dealing with like the penny and dime kind of clients, which if that's your clientele and that works for you, good for you. But the budget is there. You're not a sellout. You just know who you can help and your worth.
Hey, listen, I'm okay with being a sellout. It's okay. I sold out. I got stuff.
I'm sold, dude. Sold.
Listen, this is the thing. There are principles I will not betray. But by and large, I don't care. And because I recognize that when you're doing commercial work, very rarely does that stuff last. And when it does last, it's amazing stuff. There are famous ads that are absolutely incredible to like look back and see just how brilliant they are. But the truth of the matter is, most of them were never meant to be built to last. They were just meant to solve a problem. It was actually the first time I started looking at billboard ads. It was the first time I actually realized that what art is and how art should be taught is it's problem solving 101 is what it actually is how do you present information to an audience, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, that they understand, they actually connect to, and can build a readership, listenership, like viewership, whatever the case may be, and be willing to invest in that information they're connecting to. Right, that is the nature of, like, if you look at art from that perspective, it is one of the most useful skills in the world. Period.
Absolutely. When professional artists are talking to each other, right? One of the terms that gets tossed around is I refer to other artists to see how they've solved this problem, right? You're talking about problem solving. The problem is, how do we deliver this information to the audience in a way that they understand, that is also consistent with the style, right? So what you're saying, it's problem solving. It is communication. It's visual communication. And part of that is storytelling. So you're trying to get a response from the audience. How do you solve that problem? Lots of artists have figured out how to do it. And when it's like writing, right? How do you say one thing 10 different ways in a way that's your own, but still comes through to the audience? Art is the same way.
Well, it's exactly, because the challenge is the challenge of art is you got to do what hasn't been done before. That's the bottom line, right? And that's hard for people because if you look at it like that, right? It's very, very hard to. I'm pulling something up while we're talking here. So it's really, really hard to. Hold on a second here. I'm trying to find it. I found one of my Writers Weekly articles from a while ago, and it looks like it's popular. One of the really weirdest things to do is to tag yourself on Google and kind of see where you show up and what happens. It's like a nightmare.
No, the best place to hide a dead body is the second page on Google.
Yes, I know. No one looks. No one looks. Well, actually, in Google's case, I maintain this. It is not it's my least favorite search engine. Like, if I actually want to find information, it is by and large worthless to me, because it's gonna give me. It's great with people. Like, if you want to learn about people, Google's great. Google's phenomenal. But if you want to look at like real information, I have found Google to be a very, very frustrating pain in the ass. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just inept. I don't know. but that's just me.
It all depends on what you're looking for. Google Scholar is the thing. Of course, there are some articles through Google Scholar that you have to pay for, but it at least gives you access to peer-reviewed articles and studies.
Yeah, but I can find them sometimes through nefarious means, or not so nefarious means, for free. If you know where to look, if you actually know where to look, you can actually do it. I'm just showing a couple different articles here. That one came out actually not too long ago, and one more here. I'm going to show one more, and not that one, and this one.
Establishing a personal connection with customers to sell more.
Pretty much. And this
It's weekly. Look at you. They have pop-up ads and everything. That's when you're getting real.
Yeah, and here's the other one. This one just came out actually this week.
Hold on. Marketing secrets. 3 questions I ask myself when I pitch. Dude, that's a great headline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's how I pitch. I am legitimately 5 for 6 with Writers Weekly with my pitches. I'm 5 for 6.
You should be proud, dude.
Yeah, 5 for 6. But I mean, I can again. I understand how simplify. Like writers get intimidated by what's my story about, and the simplest truth is what's your personal connection to the story you're telling. Because if you know that, you can translate that in a way that people understand. It's like, so I'm writing Alice Zero. I'm literally writing about right now. It's like this last scene of that book, and then it's like, well, it's a double scene. I made a schizophrenic dragon. So his shadow.
Oh my God.
Oh no, he doesn't sleep. He just doesn't sleep. Like legit Greek myth. But what I decided to do was have a little fun with it, which is the dragon has just one head, like a regular dragon. But his shadow has many, many heads that are always talking, and you can hear them talk.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, right. It's based off actually Hercules. One of Hercules' labors was there's a dragon with 1,000 heads. Well, I thought, well, why would they be? And again, reimagining that. What if if you're anxious, if you feel anxiety, if you're always got this voice in the back of your head just driving you forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if if you've been awake for so long, that's all you hear is those voices over and over and over and over. That would be a very psychologically messed up dragon, right?
That would be a messed up human, right? Then you bring it to fire breathing, really sharp tooth and claw dragon. You're that's next level.
Mm-hmm. I did an undead hydra in the previous scene, so I thought that was pretty crazy. How do you kill a hydra that's already dead? So it was.
Hold on, let me think about that.
Mm-hmm. I'm not telling you how I did it. I did figure out a way to do it.
You kill its shadow.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
Shadows you bring it to life.
What?
You bring it to life, and then you kill it.
Nope.
If I guessed it right, would you even tell me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. You go to the underworld if that's a mythos in your story, and you kill it there.
Closer. Not quite, but closer. I'm not telling you because if you don't know the story, I'm not gonna give it away. And also, if you do know the story, there's a clue, right? There is a clue. But if you don't, I'm not telling you. But like I said. So you had Alice, Medusa, and Hercules, and Alice's shadow fighting this crazy undead Hydra. So
it is a shadow battle. I know it.
No.
Underworld shadow. Okay, I'm gonna stop guessing. Continue. Yes.
You want to read Alice 1 at some point?
At some point, if you make an audiobook, I go through those crazy. All right.
But I have an audiobook of my Cloud Diver book, my novel. You can actually go on my YouTube channel and you can actually listen to it because I did it as a response to the pandemic when it started. I thought C.S. Lewis is very much somebody I respect and admire, and what he did during World War II was when the Nazis were bombing England, he would read what would become Mere Christianity over the radio. And when you sit there and think about that, it's the most absurd thing you'll ever think of. Like, why would you do that in the midst of all this? But then I realized that is the most brilliant thing you can do because no matter how bad things may get, life goes on. And if life goes on, if there's life, there's hope. So when he was reading in front of the radio, he was giving hope to everybody that was listening that tomorrow might be a better day than the day before. And London nearly fell, but didn't. And then life did go on, and that book became Mere Christianity, which is probably his biggest, most famous. People know him for Narnia, but his nonfiction, it's Mere Christianity, because that is the book where he talks about God, and what a place to do it in, like, right in the heart of the apocalypse, or right in the dark, right? That is
people
amazing.
Are listening.
Yeah, right. It's amazing.
Timing.
Yeah. So that's what he did, and like I said, when I think of this time, I always, like, that's who my go-to is. What would C.S. Lewis do? And it sounds like such a lame thing, maybe to some people, but honest.
A T-shirt.
What?
A T-shirt. Go on.
It could be a T-shirt, but it is like literally what I'm doing. Like and like I said, we are. Although I know the pandemic isn't technically over. I get the feeling we're going to have bigger issues in the days, weeks, and months ahead across the world. I've seen Australia. That's crazy. And we're going to get a sample of that up here too, I think. I'm not looking forward to it. I don't think it's going to go well at all.
Well, our numbers are as high as they've ever been. You know, we're vaccinated, but here in Washington, the numbers are, you know, as high or higher than they were previously, right? But across the states, we're doing better than most other states. So, woohoo, Washington. But that doesn't say much about the rest of the states.
Well, I'm not going to depress you. I know it's coming because I've seen what's happened in Israel. Furthermore, I've seen what's happened in England. And then I'm seeing what's happened in Scotland. Now, what do they have in common prior to this? Is they got the shots first. So they're farther along the journey than everybody else. Israel is brutal. England isn't as brutal. However, there is a growing trend with it that's going to make, again, the vaccinated especially, very uncomfortable. And so we're going to come to this very interesting head. I think in the United States, I don't think you guys could do a vaccine passport, to be perfectly frank. I don't think you have the infrastructure for it, right? I just don't think. I think it ends very quickly in bullets down that. I don't see it going any other way down there. But here, in the face of those results, I think what's going to, again, there's going to be people like me who are going to be like, hey, let's just wait and kind of just rethink this whole thing. There's going to be people, no, we got to go all the way in. We're going to go all the way in. And looking at what I've seen, it's like, that's not going to work. So and that's going to be the struggle. It's like people are like, oh, we don't want to do this. We're going to do this. We're not going to do this. And if you look at France, if you look at Australia, if you look at Italy, if you look at Russia, it has not gone well anywhere. It's not going to work. And I think that's I'd rather we skip that step, but I think we're going to have to go through that step to realize it.
Mm-hmm. It seems like something was being tiptoed over that it's not going to work. Are you saying the vaccinations aren't going to work because we have all these breakthrough infections?
Have you seen the numbers in England?
I've been so damn busy.
Okay, so this is what I'm tiptoeing around. It appears, okay, in Israel, they're on their third shot. Not their first, not their second, their third.
We're considering boosters.
It's not working. England has noticed there is an increasing case of people that are being most infected by the Delta variant are the vaccinated, the fully vaccinated. So those numbers are going up, and you can actually see it on their Corona thing. You can legitimately see it. And so, which leads to a question is, does this vaccine really work? Or how is it working? Right? But
well, it's about the intensity of how people get sick, right? You get sick, but you're not in the hospital. You're in the hospital, but you're not dead.
Look at again, you look at England, that's not the case. That's not the case. It started in Israel. It was hit in England. very quietly, it's harder to look in the United States because of the fact that you guys don't have a uniform number. Some states won't show their numbers, other states will show their numbers. It depends on really what states are going. But it's starting to become a trend there too. And you're farther along than we are. So you guys, I feel, and again, and people are noticing this, You can look at those numbers and you're like, that isn't comforting. And so what I'm saying is, doesn't mean that the vaccine doesn't necessarily work, but I think before we go jump in and give everybody the shot, maybe we should make sure it works first. And like I said, you might want to disagree with me, but I will tell you is just go look up England's numbers. It's not like, if you don't believe that, look at Israel's numbers, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where it's looking at. That's where it seems to be going, and that's again, it's one thing to get people to cooperate for one shot. It's hard enough. If it don't look like it's working, good luck.
Mm. Well, this is obviously a complex topic, right? Mm-hmm. So there's only so far that we're going to be able to go with it. Mm-hmm. With the countries that have been vaccinated, I'd be interested to know what their numbers would look like had they not been vaccinated. Had they not been vaccinated and their numbers similar to countries who aren't vaccinated, I think if it's a matter of which one is worse, we should absolutely weigh the voices of folks who cannot speak for themselves anymore.
Okay. Well then, what you'd have to do is you'd have to compare, and you can actually do this in the States if you really want to. Some states have less restrictions than other states. You can
say that one more time.
Some states have far less restrictions than other states.
Yeah.
Good example, this is South Dakota. You can compare South Dakota, right? South Dakota's numbers to what is available. Like California is hard. New York and Florida, you can't really do. But you can actually do comparisons that way as well. And on that one, you can find out for yourself. That would be a way to do it. Also, other countries with lower vaccination rates, like Romania, Sweden, right? You can compare them to what you're seeing in England, in Israel, right? And you can kind of make your own confusion because they're going, again, same place, same time.
I would disagree on the population density and on the cultural health of the people already. Mm-hmm. Folks, if we're talking about Sweden versus the US, we're looking at their healthcare system versus ours, and I would venture to say that they are a bit healthier than we are. So if they're
that's almost a guarantee.
I don't think that's a reflection of one factor by itself, that being vaccinations. I think it's a system as a whole. So let's, instead, if we're taking numbers, let's look at, like what you were saying, one state to the other, but those states need to be similar in population density.
You can still do mathematical calculations of numbers per million or per 100,000. Yeah. You can still get some numbers based on that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm looking at that. It don't look good. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
depressing. That's depressing as hell, right? So.
Man, I hate the COVID talks.
No. Everybody does, right? Everybody does, but it's the problem. Here's the thing, right? It would be a lot easier if, again, there's this issue of choice, right? So the argument ultimately comes down to this: if it doesn't work, why do it? At least right now. Or if it doesn't work as advertised, how does it work? I think that's a legitimate question. Number one. Number two, I don't want a country, again, looking at Australia, looking at France. I don't want that here. right? I don't want divide. I think the worst thing about this is we can all have a different opinion about how it works. But when you bring something like that to a head, it automatically creates sides. And there's better ways of doing it. Like there were better ways we could have done this and force it like this. Could have done what we could do what Japan does, which is don't create a voluntary system, go doctor-patient confidentiality, protect everybody involved to the best they can, and have their own conclusions. That works. That's what they've been doing for 30 years. Right? And it would make it a lot better than what we're about to do, which is, hey, this is the choice. You don't have to do it this way, but now you can't do this. And watching what's going on with the rest of the world, I don't want to see, like I said, I don't want to see what's going on in France. I don't want to see what's going on. Or the worst nightmare, the absolute, the scariest one of all is Russia. Russia has it has a thing on prosthetic limbs right now because they don't, legitimately speaking, their government has tried to kill them. So they're a little bit more paranoid than average. You can't argue that paranoia because, right? So, yeah.
It's
yeah, you can't, right? So it's I don't know, but that's where they're at. And I'm like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go here. I would rather, before this gets to the point where it's one side over the other or this or that, let's figure out how shit works. And let's not, and create a situation where people can choose. That's kind of where I'm at. That's how I see it. Assuming it doesn't work the one way, let's figure that out. Once we figure that out, let's figure out if it actually works. Right? Make choices.
I don't want to, infringe on people's right to choose. That's not ideal at all. I also don't want the choice, right? You give people the right to choose, which is an inherent right. You can't give that. That's your right as a human being, right? You get to choose your own destiny. But what comes with that is people make stupid decisions, right? I'm not the God of the universe. I don't have the omnipotence to know what is right, what's wrong. So what's stupid, what's a dumb choice, what's a smart choice. I don't have that point of view. But what I do know is people make the wrong choice. It shows up in death tolls, right? What you're saying, people vaccinate, they don't vaccinate, it's still, folks are still dying, right? We're seeing that in all the countries everywhere. This isn't an ideal situation. So I think many different recipes to try to figure out how to bake this bread is a good way to go about it. We see that it works in some places, and maybe that can be universal, or maybe it's culturally specific. Who can really tell? But this is definitely an experiment that is costly in mortality. And so we got to jump at a solution here. But that's the thing about democracy. It's so effing slow. So how do you infringe on democracy in the interest of keeping people safe? Now you're getting into what people, that's the whole point of martial law. But people don't like martial law, and for good reason, right? But the idea is to keep people safe. That same territory.
Well, it's not. That's not. Well, the idea is it's an emergency. But if it's always an emergency, then where does it end? That's the flip side of that too. Here's the thing, right? Cancer kills way more people than COVID does. So does heart disease. We're not making changes to the fast food industry. Definitely with heart disease, there's definitely links there, right? We're not making these giant universal changes. We are letting people choose. There are contaminants in our food. Been proven to the nth degree. Yet people still are allowed to choose what they eat. Now we're getting into choosing what goes into your body. And not you making that choice, but the state making that choice. So the question then becomes this. Okay, maybe you're right with this shot. Maybe you're absolutely right. And maybe we all need to just do it. But what about the next shot? What about the next shot? And then the next shot.
What's wrong with that?
Well, what if it kills you? Because at this point, it's no longer in your control. You're not making the choice. You are no longer in service of what is going on in your body, which is something that has never, ever happened. People do take vaccinations. They do talk about smallpox and polio and things of that nature. But again, those choices have never impeded on people's right to work, people's right to earn a living, people's right to enjoy little things in life. This is brand new in that sense. In your country, where vaccinations have always been kind of where two spots vaccinations universally have held the precedence is this: schools and international travel. Nothing else. International travel makes sense because every country has their own set of rules. You want to come into our country, you're going to do it our way. That's fair. No one can really argue that point. Going to school, well, okay. Although I personally am more pro-treatment than necessarily pro or anti-vaccine, I get the idea behind that. But eventually you're not kids anymore. You're adults. And the thing is, every risk that is being talked about right now has always been there with anything we've had. There are a million different variants of diseases that we come in contact, we fight every day with our immune systems. Don't even realize it. We pass each other, we make contact with each other all the time. We share all the time. That's not even including if we get intimate or anything like that. That can make that an even bigger, issue. So, right? So even just having contact, this has always been this way. But now we're talking about the idea that you are carrying something with you all the time that could be dangerous. But we also do have an immune system. We also do have things we can do. And the thing is, I cannot tell you how to take care of yourself. You know that better than me. You're actually a bigger expert on that because honestly, who knows your body better than you? Maybe your doctor. Maybe. Right? But that's it. A company can't tell you that. A government can't tell you that. So how far does it go? And especially if it's not going to wipe out a disease in the first 2 shots. How many shots will it take? Is it safe?
There's a lot to what you just said, right? So I'll just take it from the top.
Yep.
The first thing that caught my attention was, the food argument. What you put into your body is your own choice. What you eat mostly just affects you. It starts affecting the community when you have to be hospitalized, and if you're on public insurance, then the community's kind of paying for that, right? So we tax that. We put a soda tax, we put a sugar tax to kind of reimburse ourselves for that. But then, you get to keep the power back to what you choose to put into your body. So balance, right? What was next? I've been drinking a little bit, so.
That's okay. Like I said, this is a conversation I think everybody needs to have, so it's okay. So
we're talking about vaccinations. I'm gonna take the scope of this conversation out towards the future, right?
Okay.
Some of your listeners may or may not agree with this. Climate change is happening. The climate is changing. That is as far as I'm going to take that, right? The ice caps are melting. That's measurable. One of the things that scientists are worried about is if the ice caps melt far enough, you're going to end up bringing out organisms and disease and germs that we haven't seen in generations. We're going to have new diseases.
Sure.
Are we prepared for that? If we are, right, we have it in our immune system and our genetic code that we can deal with it, bonus. Good. Smooth sailing, right? But if we're not, the first people who are going to be affected by climate change are those who don't have access to healthcare, don't have the community support to stay healthy, the marginalized folks. So the people who benefit from the idea of my body, my choice, right? With any of this, right? My groceries, my choice, my world, my choice. Those aren't the people who are going to immediately suffer from climate change induced germ issues, right? Sickness. So now we're talking, you're saying let's lay down the groundwork for this shot, the next shot, the next shot, the next shot. This is only COVID, right? The next disease is right around the corner. So I agree. We definitely have to have foundation for what is equitable when we're talking about getting shots. If what's equitable with food is that it's your body, your choice, there's a sugar tax, what does that mean for diseases? If you don't get vaccinated and you pass it on to somebody who can't be vaccinated and we don't achieve that herd immunity, was it really your body, your choice? Because the person who couldn't get it, they got sick, they could die. Is that criminal? Did you, by not getting the vaccine and passing it on to somebody, they wouldn't have gotten sick from COVID? You know, that's going a little further than I'd like to, but the new foundation for moving forward, you know, we're building on our past mistakes. I agree. It's got to be something that works with everybody. And when it's the climate change issue, because we're test driving it with COVID now, when it's the climate change issue, it's also got to be equitable for people who don't have the voice, don't have the means for vaccines. We can't just marginalize people because it's our privilege to do so.
Okay. So I'm going to throw a couple thoughts back at you.
Okay.
Because I want you to think about this. You're talking about marginalized people. I would argue to you that the actually best way to deal with marginalizing people is to give them affordable housing, a way to live that they have dignity and respect, and give them the ability to take care of themselves over the extended period of time. That is a much better solution in the long run than any one shot will do, period. Doesn't matter. The truth of the matter is the United States is probably has the most shots per capita than any other country in the world. And you're not the healthiest country in the world. The reason being is because you do not have the infrastructure to properly take care of your people. And that is by design, not by choice. You have the resources, you have the wealth, you have all these things available to you as a country. You don't do it. Now, here's the thing. With something like this, the marginalized people will still be marginalized. This is what's going to happen down there, and this is why you guys can't have this. Because if you have this, this is what's going to happen. Sooner or later, that shot is going to cost money. And when it does, the people that will not be able to get it are going to be those marginalized people. And then if they can't work, they can't eat, they can't sleep, they can't do anything that you take for granted that you can do, what is going to be their choice?
Is the flu shot in the States? The flu shots are free.
Flu shots are free. Other shots aren't. Depends on the state actually where you go. It's not. It's all right. The thing is, if they ever put a charge on this, and other medicines, other medications, depending like your hospital costs, just in general, are ridiculous compared to anywhere else in the world. You're nuts. There is a have not in your Medicare. If you have it, like if you have money, your Medicare is the best in the world. It's not even close. Like you are so far ahead of everybody else if you have money. But if you don't, it's one of the worst systems in the world. It's not like it's night and day. It is terrible. So what I am saying to you is giving this stuff to everybody. It is the marginalized people. If things really do go wrong, it will not be people up here. It'll be the people down here that pay for it. And it always will be them first. I'm not, like I said, and it'd be very, you are legitimately one small step away from a two-tier system. And
from the what?
A two-tier system. You're legitimately like that close. And all it would take is a charge of $1. And I like that. That's kind of like you guys. That's why I don't. You guys can do it. Our system's better, but even I don't trust our system's better. We don't pay for like the hospitals do. There's no $1 million charge or these $100,000 charges for staying in the hospital. That doesn't exist. But at the same time, you are trusting people who are politicians to dictate what kind of shots you're taking, not doctors. Not you. You hope they're right? But it's one thing when you take a risk. This is kind of where I'm saying, like, if I take a risk, if I go do something and I fuck up, it's on me. I made that choice. I shouldn't have slept with that person, right? Well, I shouldn't have drank that much tequila. I shouldn't have done, but I chose to do it. And I get where you're saying with the vaccine, but the big assumption there is that it has to work.
I would, on that last note, right? What does it say about a community if it has to work? Yes, ideally, it has to work. If people aren't willing to get vaccinated for the sake of others, I question what that says about a community.
Okay, throw this back. It's not about necessarily for the community. It's history.
There's a lot of history there, yeah.
No. But it's the history of the fact that many people have suffered from drugs that have come out too soon, from vaccines that have come out too soon. Mm-hmm. If you bring something out that you've been burned doing before, you've seen somebody that suffered, you're far less likely to jump. And it's not because you've seen it. It's not necessarily about community selfishness. It's about also the fact that you've seen that sacrifice has been made before. And you've seen people pay for it.
What's that one? I don't know my medicine all that well. But what is that one disease that went around? The whole world's basically been vaccinated from it. But if you got sick from it, you were on an iron lung.
Chickenpox.
Well,
seriously.
Chickenpox may be one, but that's not the one I'm talking about. Your listeners probably know what I'm talking about. But mm-hmm. I would say that there are cases to be made both ways. In that, yes, when we're talking about medicine that has the power to both save and not save people, the consequences of administering it are severe either way. They're extreme either way. You either save a person or you make them worse, right? There have been.
You want to save people. That's idea. That's the ideal.
That's the ideal. That's what we want. Hippocratic oath. There have been instances in the past, especially with marginalized communities, that have been on the receiving end of being experiments for medicine. That's no bueno. We don't want that. What we really want is medicine that helps people, that works for people. I understand the fear. It's totally legitimate. It's just like Russia's people fearing their government for good reason, right? But that is also, we're not talking about
we're not there
whether
yet.
We clean a living room and we vacuum it and it's either clean or not clean. We're talking about medicine. So yes, the medicine either works and it saves you, or it doesn't work and you die. That comes with the territory. Mm-hmm. So with that said, this conversation is inherently complex because it's such a dire situation.
Well, but here's the thing. This is my point to you. This is just my point. It's not necessarily about selfishness. It's also about experience, right? It's not. There's no easy answer, and either way there is a risk. Mm-hmm. That's fair. But in this particular case, it has to be acknowledged that there is a risk both ways. This vaccine, if you want to call it a vaccine, is the first ever emergency use drug that has been fully approved by the FDA without doing the triple-blind placebo testing that normally would take years.
Haven't they been working on it for 30-ish years?
This
Like
vaccine,
they laid the foundation for it, but they
but if you want to go for, but the mRNA has been researched for a long time. You always going to get to the last step, which is like the big thing. You do a longer trial because you really don't know what this is going to do. There is like the trial for this was supposed to be done May 25th, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2021.
Yeah.
Right. So it's an experiment. It's still an experiment right this minute. You know, it's fully approved by the FDA. Pfizer is anyway, when the others not so much, but Pfizer. It's the first of its kind. There's never been a medicine approved from an emergency use straight to the FDA approved.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a risk, and that's the thing. Like I think this is what I would say. There is a risk no matter what we think, what we make here. But I would argue to you right now that with this risk as it stands, I'm not sure there is I'm not sure there is a balanced choice either way right now. So if I can't really find that there's a balanced choice, I really can't blame anybody right now, whatever way they choose.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know a bunch of your listeners are probably thinking, Shani, you're so idealistic. Don't you understand the government's out to get you?
It goes both ways. Listen, it's like, to me, like, let me just throw it the other way just for a second, just because I understand. This is a new disease, by and large, right? It's a new disease. It does things to people. People have died. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. People have died. So there's a risk, right? There is a risk, right? And there are especially people who are immunocompromised, who don't, like, those are the people, right? I don't have a good answer for you. I really don't.
Right.
Right?
But the point I'm making is that the numbers have shown, right? And we could be getting different numbers depending on our sources. 96% effective. That means 4 out of 100 people will get sick. And we're talking about population, right? That's COVID Delta, that's a 96, and then you get your breakthrough, right? The vaccine has been shown to work for people. I would be very interested to hear what the numbers are like for adverse effects of getting the vaccination. And then I would like to compare those numbers to the people who have been vaccinated and haven't gotten COVID. When we're talking about 4 out of 100 people, and then you bring that up to a national and international scale, that it's a whopper, right? People are still dying. And then, of course, the disease, as genetics have it, it mutates. And so you have to update the vaccine every time, just like you do with your flu shot. There's no perfect way around it. That science is a practice, medicine is a practice. If people are willing to get vaccinated, then they're one of the 96 out of 100 count who are showing that it is effective. We are not time travelers. We don't know what it would be like if we didn't get vaccinated. Would it be better? Would it be worse? We don't know. But this is where we're at. So like we're saying, what this whole conversation has been about, it's choices. Make the choice that's best for you. The data's out there. And good luck.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. Like I said, it's been kind of a wild. It's been an interesting week. Like I said, as far as that goes.
Should we get to the drawing part?
We probably should. There was one more thing I was going to ask though before we get there, and that's this. Mm-hmm. So what have you been up to this? Like, why have you been so busy?
Oh my God, dude. Well, I'm doing the farm life, and it's season, it's the summer. Animals up early, vegetables picked, everything's weeded, watering all the time. It's hectic. But I'm a traveling farmer, so that just comes with the territory. I also have been working more in the event production job. I got a job. It's event production. I was doing just admin for it, but when you work event production, just like with any kind of performance industry, everybody calls out at the last second and you're filling in for them. So I've been on call basically, which makes my schedule unpredictable, which means I've just been trying to get into a routine. And every time I do that, the routine's over. So the first thing to go has been social media. I've been working on the portfolio as often as I can. And I am still working on pieces that I can submit to illustration publishing companies, mostly kids' books. I want more time to work on those, but this is where we're at, with the pandemic being what it is. A job is a priority.
So event coordinator, huh?
Event production.
Event production, okay.
You would call me a project manager admin.
So does that involve paperwork?
Yeah, there's a bunch of hiring and payroll and time card paperwork. There's contracts, but that's not new. I used to do all that kind of stuff for landscaping. Reaching out to clients, emailing back and forth, getting the software ready for the crew, understanding the software before the crew comes, bitching at you. Why doesn't this work? Or help me, I don't understand. So trying to figure that out. And then past that, it's just a bunch of, lifting really heavy stages, flipping them over, putting up lights and sound, and getting power out, generators, seats, tables, all that kind of stuff. When a president comes to town, this company deals with it. When a big concert happens, they're setting it up. So, with COVID receding, it's very ironic that I'm pro-vax, the boss is pro-vax, and we're event production because, we're front and center with people, with groups of people, large groups of people. So it's very helpful for us to be vaccinated or at least feel that kind of safety. And that's what we do. We're going towards, Delta variant, maybe a shutdown. We'll see.
I don't think you guys shut down again the same way. I just don't see it.
Well, you're not the first person to tell me that. If the country needs a shutdown, I'm not against it, so long as there's like that safety net there of, okay, if we shut down, how are we going to pay rent?
Like I said, you have more faith in your politicians on that one than I do. But I don't think you guys shut down the same way. I could see Chicago, LA, New York possibly doing it because just how big those populations are. Mm-hmm. But I don't see the whole country shutting down that way again. I don't see Texas and Florida doing it. South Dakota hasn't shut down pretty much the whole time anyway. They've been
right.
Right. So
I say a national shutdown, but let's be real. It's just basically the West Coast.
West Coast, East Coast.
And New York.
Yeah, it'll be both sides, but the middle will be open. So I mean,
yeah,
you guys, again, I don't see it. I could see LA, I could see Chicago, I definitely could see New York, but that's it. I don't see anything else. And I say that just based on the fact that even at the best of times, like your last pandemic, you had Woodstock. I'm just saying, not okay. Like
that says more about Woodstock than it does about the shutdown.
No, it says a lot more about your country than you think it does.
No. Woodstock. They don't play by rules. Well, they play by their own rules.
I'm gonna say it says more about your country. It says more about your country than you like to admit.
Is there like Woodstock in other countries?
No.
The equivalent.
Not really. No. The Woodstock was like this, like one, like well, technically it was twice in a lifetime, but the first one was the one that no, it was during a pandemic. It was during another pandemic. You guys were protesting the Vietnam War because that was a big part of it. And
no, I remember that.
How do you remember that? You weren't even alive.
I remember the history.
Okay. But damn.
I remember what I've been taught about it.
Yeah. So
Shani, come on.
I'm just, So I was like, wait, damn, you got memories? Cool, sure. Because I wasn't like that.
In utero.
Yeah.
smoking through my mom's belly button.
How old were your parents in 1969?
I don't know how old my parents are. Are they still around? Who knows?
Okay. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I just asked because it's like you're what, 30?
I'll never tell. Not on camera, anyways.
Yeah. I'm not old. I swear to God, I'm not old. Breaks down.
I'm not the
cries
one who's going to make you feel old, okay? It's that 10-year-old with 2 books. Old and inadequate.
Hey, listen, I'm older than you.
Yeah, well, I passed that torch on to somebody else, somebody much younger.
Oh, you want somebody else to have your insecurities. I see.
I want somebody else to cause those insecurities in others, okay? I have peaked in that age, okay? Nah. I'm going to blame that on the next generation. I have done my generational due diligence.
Now I'm confused. What is generational due diligence?
No. Yeah.
I don't understand. Like that one, I like. You get confidence or you don't. There's no, like. There's like, you just, like this thing. I'm middle aged and kind of crazy. Like I think we both acknowledge I'm kind of crazy. But the thing about that is, you just after a while you realize again, it's where you're at. That's really all that matters. Right? That's really all that matters. So
comparisons kill.
Well, no, honestly, yeah. Like, look, this time next month, I'm hoping I'm going to be in Calgary. I'm probably going to have a roommate that's going to drive me a little bit to drink, a little bit.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Big developments.
Yes.
An invisible drink.
Hi, I'm home.
I'm going to do my interview now. Woohoo.
I'm feeling good. I'm drawing Pokemon tonight, by the way.
Yeah, let's see what you're working on.
I haven't started yet, but it's gonna be Pokemon. Actually, I'll show you this really quickly here. I wanna be so every time I've been doing
the very best.
Yes, no one ever was. So
dun
here.
dun dun dun.
That's my Mew.
Oh, how cute!
No, that's my Mew.
You're getting the eyes really well.
Eyes are so. My last drink and draw I did is skull.
Okay, a little bit closer.
It's my alien skull.
Oh, hey. That's a lot of teeth for Mr. Skull Friend.
Yeah, it's alien skull. I actually was like my last drink and draw. And prepare for trouble and better make it trouble.
Oh, they were a cute couple. They weren't really a couple. They were besties.
You know, they could have. You know what? In all fairness, they kept that one up in the air. I don't know.
I appreciate that about the series.
Yeah, they kept that up in the air. My tendency is to think actually overall, my gut says no. But
I think he was gay. I think she was.
No,
I actually each other's beards.
I actually this is what I think. Sometimes you're around somebody so much you just love them. Regardless of whatever, the true nature of love is just being with somebody through thick and thin, ups and downs. Listen, they got their asses kicked by Pikachu on a regular basis together, like almost every episode.
Talk about the inadequacy. How old were those kids?
Yeah, I know exactly. they were out in the world and kicking ass. And hey, Team Rocket was having fun too, right? They were part of that journey on their own. Dear God, we went from that. Oh yeah, I like we were going to Team Rocket, but here's the thing, right? What made them so endearing was they were a unit. Meowth was the leader. It was actually the neat thing about that thing is he was the leader of the group. He was the brains of the outfit. You could actually tell he was the brains.
It's just like when the sub is actually the dom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they inverted that relationship. They were the loud. No, they did. That's the thing. Whereas Ash was that was the thing. That was why it was such a good foil for Ash and company was. Ash and Pikachu had a friendship, but Ash was always like
Ash and company. Sorry.
It changed every it changed like Brock's changed and they went to different people throughout the entire journey and I think Ash is still chasing cartoons. all the way down. It could be ass for all I know at this point.
How old is he? We'll never find out.
He's somewhere between 10 and 13. Leave it there and leave it nice and ambiguous.
At
Right?
least Naruto grew up and had a kid, you know? But
well, Naruto is interesting because his ultimate technique tended to always win with at least the guys, right?
wait. Did you just say Naruto died? Because
No. Naruto didn't die. But his ultimate technique would always win against guys.
Oh, okay. Whew. Scared me for a second.
I'm not gonna. I would not spoil this for you. Yeah, I would not spoil this for you.
Not without a spoiler alert, at least.
No. So.
I thought we were homies, but whatever.
No. Spoiler! Everybody dies.
Oh, well, that's not a spoiler. We all knew that would happen. I mean, they're kids fighting other adults. They all have clinical depression. They're all gonna die. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the only thing as a concept of the only weird thing about Pokemon, and I thought about that and I never could completely unsee it. Isn't it glorified cockfighting?
Dude, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Oh, dude, I got a story to tell you.
Uh-oh.
I live on a farm.
Yeah, of course.
Newsflash. Okay. We have chickens and roosters. I went off to house sit for like 10 days. I came back, and one of our beautiful roosters, his name's Simon. He's gorgeous. He's got these green and blue tail feathers. He is a rooster's rooster, dude. He is so kind. He wants you to pick him up. He wants to be hand-fed. He loves you, okay? He goes missing. Where did he go? The neighbors say that they saw a car slow down twice in front of the house. And within those 2 visits, the rooster's gone. We put 2 and 2 together. Who stole our rooster? Anybody seen this guy? We live in Tacoma, right? I don't know if you know anything about Tacoma.
I don't know much about Tacoma now.
There's a page that is very accurately called the Tecumseh Files. This place is gross. It's messed up, okay? There's a lot of crime here. So somebody steals our rooster, we post it online, it gets picked up by Tecumseh Files, it gets shared like wildfire. 3 weeks go by, we can't find Simon. An animal would at least leave a carcass or something. You would smell it. But then there's a pile of feathers, and there's a body. We found him. He wasn't eaten. He was pecked at, but for 3 weeks, you'd think that more meat would be gone from him. In those 3 weeks, we would have smelled him. We looked where we had found him, and he had not been there. So what had happened? Well, the fence had been moved, and his body had been where it wasn't before. It either got dragged out by something, or it fell from a nest. But there was no nest above us. Or somebody came by after seeing our Tecumseh File post, brought a pile of feathers in one place to make it look like a fight, and left his body in another. I don't know how we got onto this. Right, Pokemon being just glorified cockfighting. It's our suspicion that poor little Simon was used as a bait rooster in a cockfighting ring. And he laughs us away. You would not laugh if you met Simon.
No. I
buried him.
Yeah, so this is not a happy story. This is not a happy story. I know for a fact when you're out in the farm, right? When you're out in the farm, there's a lot of bored people out there. It happens far more often than I would like to admit.
I'm going to share my screen. I'm listening.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And so you see people do the dumbest shit. You're like, why did you do that?
Why did you do that? Why? How could you?
No. I made that mistake once. I will never ask that question again. I will not ask that question ever again.
Nope, that is the wrong question there.
Again, I actually don't drink. That will make me drink. If I ask that question, that will make me drink.
How could you do it?
Then they tell you. And then you're even more dumbfounded than you were before. Then your brain starts to hurt.
It was easy.
Very. there. It's like, no. Sometimes it's like, why did you do this? Well, this was my thinking. Then you listen to the thinking and you cry. A little inside of you. You
A
cry.
little.
Oh, like it's you don't dare show it on the outside. You should. Oh God, no.
I'm made of steel because I've heard this before, but inside.
No,
How
no, no,
could-
no, 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 no. I'm not made of steel. I'm afraid they'll tell me more if I break down and openly start weeping.
You're a sensitive guy.
That's right. I am a sensitive guy. Very. I don't want to feel this pain. Why?
Simon did not deserve that.
Yeah. Well, no. But again, it's one of those things. Like the things people do to entertain themselves in a place like that. Oh boy. Like, would your rooster be used for cockfighting? No. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Well, I was bored.
Probably.
It's like I was bored. It's not a reason to do that. Yeah, it is. No.
I don't need a reason. I'm bored.
It's like you kind of
So,
do.
you want to see what I've been working on?
Sure.
Cool.
I'm drawing away here, and I'm drawing Raichu. Oh, juice.
Of course.
Not bad. Hey, everybody.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me stop sharing.
Ah! The many zooms.
Let's see Raichu.
I'm not done yet, but I'm working on them.
You're getting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the 2 eyes. You got the nose.
Raichu is out.
I'm working on this portfolio, but I got to show them that I can do many things, right? So this is called a spot illustration. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's just a spot of illustration, right? So it doesn't go full page. It just takes up a little bit of it. And here's Sunshine, Simon's girlfriend. I based this chicken because this is Jack and the Beanstalk, right? And there's a chicken that lays golden eggs. So here's the chicken laying golden eggs, modeled after Sunshine. And I want to show, because, you know, the chicken's supposed to run away. Why did the chicken run away? Well, because she had laid so many eggs that there was no room for her inside of the den, that she had to lay outside in the snow. And she was like, you know what? I'm done with this. And she left. So that's what this one's supposed to illustrate. But I figure, you know, having this kind of finished illustration next to this sketch illustration, it kind of shows them what they want to see, you know, what that process looks like. At least that's what they were saying that they want to see. And now I'm doing a two-page spread. One of the things that publishers, art directors want to see is that you can draw a group of characters interacting with each other, and then you can draw a scale, right? So the scale was kind of hard to do. That's what I'm trying to do here, do all those things. Given that one of the characters is a giant, so that part was difficult. But hopefully, the idea here, I'm gonna fix this Flossie character. But the idea here is to have multiple characters in this really lush landscape at the end of the story. Just kind of having a happy ending. Throughout the story, we see the giant's wife, this crow here. We mostly see her feet, right? Here's a sketch. She's trapped in this bird cage. She doesn't like her husband, so I drew her feet with some shackles on it, right? So when we talk about the wife, we mostly just see her feet with those shackles. So when we come to the end here, I really wanted to highlight her feet without the shackles, right? So hopefully that just it brings the story full circle without having to show this giant character in its entirety. Just the feet will do, right? Mm-hmm. And that's really one of the struggles that when you get further along as an illustrator, the key seems to be less is more. How much can you say with as little illustration as possible?
That's actually true. That's true of storytelling in general.
Right.
I think that's
right.
Storytelling in general. Because it's not, again, you're trying to make a connection, right? By the way, I'm going to show a second here. You want to see my Raichu? There's my Raichu.
Oh, hold on. Let me stop sharing. 1 second. Is he grinning?
Yes, he is.
It's a little glitchy. You busted that out so fast.
I know. Getting there. again, my style, if you notice, like I said, I can break down simple shapes. What gets me
Right.
now are faces, particularly spaces that require specific sets. Like, actually, I'll show you something. I tried to do Jigglypuff because I thought it was easy.
Mm.
This Jiggly has no puffs.
Oh my, this jiggle has no puff.
There's no puff to these jiggles.
And this is one skinny jiggle.
The first one was like like what the hell was I doing? The third one was the closest one, but it's honestly, it's the eyes. The eyes totally make Jigglypuff. If the eyes aren't there, right, it's like you're not Jigglypuff. I don't know what you are.
As well as the swirl, right? That's the thing with icons. You only need a few identifiers, and people can usually put it all together. So the eyes definitely make it. That's like a huge portion of it. But then with that swirl, you got jiggle.
Yeah.
That jiggle has its puff.
My jiggle had no puffs. But this is a teddy bear Raichu.
Sorry, it's really hard to see. That looks like Raichu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said it was a teddy bear.
Yeah, teddy bear version. I said the eyes. Teddy bear Raichu. Teddy bear Raichu.
That it is. I'm gonna share my screen again, unless you want to show me something else.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Okay, now I'm gonna draw Sunshine again, but in her smaller form. Let the magic begin.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have a definite advantage in looking at a shape, right?
Yes.
Your style is, like we're saying, it's based on shapes. It's not based on small lines and small details. Really, once the eye is made, or the connection there is made of shapes being related to each other, right? So their scales bounce off of each other. That's going to be a huge level up. When it comes to style, personal style, it really doesn't matter what you go with, so long as you're consistent about it. So I think you definitely have an edge there in starting with the shape, starting with the silhouette. Silhouettes are really what makes the character, if we're talking about characters. It's what lays the whole scene out. It's almost theatrical. You have a silhouette in the background and a silhouette in the middle ground, a silhouette in the foreground, the silhouette of the characters and the trees and all these other elements within the picture. So long as you can master those shapes, the rest, your audience already knows what you're making, basically. So the rest is just dressing.
Yep. No, it's one of those things where you just recognize like what the characters are, and Pokemon's is a fun one too because it's how you learn.
Mm-hmm.
Totally, they're good ones to learn with.
Mm-hmm. Especially shape language. Shape language says a lot about the character. If you're going to be working with character, it says a lot about the environment. If
Totally.
It's sharper, it's more dangerous. There's a lot of change. If it's softer, it's approachable, it's innocent. It's not dangerous. If it's square, it's sturdy, it's a foundation, it's reliable, right? If you look at Pokemon, you can really see that shape language in action. You can learn a lot from that. And I think if you're gonna catch them all, be the very best, it might be worth it. Lots of artists have done this, to have a Pokemon sketchbook where you're drawing each Pokemon in your own style, just because of their shape language and their color language, how that makes the character give that first impression to the viewer.
Like I said, with me, it's one of those things where I'm looking at it, and it's like I'm learning, because I am going to make my own characters at some point. Color is something I have to get to, but I will get to it as I keep getting more freelance gigs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
One thing at a time.
Yeah, that's exactly it. One thing at a time. How to catch them. Although every time I do Pokemon, I got that or the Team Rocket thing. Do you know the Team Rocket thing? Do you know the full Team Rocket introduction?
Jesse, James.
That's the end of it. That's the end of it.
Hold on.
Let's see if I can sharpen your memory. Prepare for trouble.
Make it double. Hold on. Prepare for trouble. Make it double.
To protect the world.
Fine.
To protect the world from
devastation. To unite all people within our nation?
Yes.
To denounce?
Yep.
No. Yep. Of truth and love?
Yeah. Denounce the evils of truth and love.
No.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Jesse. James.
Team Rocket.
Team Rocket.
Blasting off at speed of
light. Surrender now or prepare to fight. Me out. That's effing right.
See? You've been brainwashed too. See? You too remember all these things from your
Oh my gosh.
There's more of them. Heck, what were the shows you watched as a kid?
Naruto, dude. Totally Naruto.
Why
my brother was into Yu-Gi-Oh.
So
yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh did change card game landscapes forever. Everybody knows what you're talking about when you say Exodia. Everybody knows.
What was it? Dark Hole?
Dark Hole? No. That card, like that kind of card existed before. Like it has existed in the card games before. But the idea of I win is like as an Exodia.
Yeah.
That is totally from Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Sometimes when I'm silly, I used to play competitive Magic. I would use Yu-Gi-Oh terms on Magic cards, because sometimes it works. Sometimes, right?
And they would know exactly what you were saying.
Yeah. Or they were like, "Oh, terrible," right? Heart of the cards. Sometimes.
Oh right. Oh my
god. Right.
I do that playing poker.
No, you don't heart. No. Poker's not heart of the cards. Poker is
heart of the cards.
No, it's not. It's somewhat heart of the cards.
That's why you could lose. You don't trust in the heart of the cards.
No. Poker isn't just heart of the cards. Poker is more about can you talk people off the edge? That's basically.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh's not all about heart of the cards either.
No. It's math, but it's different math. Like because here's the thing. There's one thing poker does that Yu-Gi-Oh does not. Yes, and that's a completely adds a different element to the game, because what happens in poker is, okay, I'm going to assume Hold'em. Is Hold'em your game?
Sure. Yeah, that's one of them.
We'll go with Hold'em. Okay.
Yeah.
Easy explanation. Okay. The opening two cards. Pocket aces is the best hand. First two. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're playing against 8 players. Okay? Now, pocket aces is good, right, in this situation. It's the best hand in this situation. Right. Until the flop. Then it might not be the best hand anymore. So, knowing that you got the best hand in this current situation, how do you make sure it stays the best hand?
By trusting in the heart of the cards.
By making people fold right before the game starts. That's the best way to do it. And the way you do that is you gamble. It's going to cost you this much to go beyond this. I'm evil. This is how I play poker. I'm very, very evil.
Well, what was his name? Yami Yugi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet he would win against either of us.
Well, Yami Yugi will beat us all.
Yeah, dude.
Yami Yugi will win every game. It's not just Duel Monsters. It's any card game or any game period. You'll win. The best Yu-Gi-Oh series that no one probably has ever seen is honestly the one where it's just it was only in Japanese, and he would play all kinds of different games. And that Yu-Gi-Oh, like
really?
That Yami Yugi, he was the Punisher. I'm not kidding. It would be done in a series of games. You would play games. One particular one, like this is how different Japanese cartoons are from American cartoons. Is one such game So he goes, a guy is holding a gun at him. Okay, no joke, right? And the guy's pouring a drink. The guy is pouring a drink, and Yu goes, "Let's play a game." The guy's got the gun. It's like, okay, let's play the game. So the rule is we can only use one finger, move one finger, right? And the guy's got a gun. He's pouring a drink. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So like, we'll just use one finger, right? Each of us goes, and after we use it, whoever makes the winning move wins.
Mm-hmm.
Guy's like, I got the gun. I'm in complete control here. Sure, why not? Why not? So he obviously picks his index finger because that's where the trigger is, right?
Okay.
He picks his thumb. He hits the lighter. Guy's got a cigarette in his hand, in his mouth. It's the only thing I forgot to mention. Guy's like, all right, kid, I'll let you light up my cigarette before I kill you. He does. And then puts the lighter on the hand with the gun. He goes,
What show are you watching?
This is Yu-Gi-Oh! This is Yu-Gi-Oh! In Japan. Not here. No joke. Right? Then Yu-Gi-Oh!
We have the lamest shows, dude.
No.
Lame shows.
No. You got the lamest shows. I had good shows. I had Bugs Bunny. I had Bugs Bunny. I had Darkwing Duck. I had DuckTales. Right? Those are
we
great
didn't
shows.
have DuckTales?
Well, no, I had DuckTales.
Oh, okay.
I had Gargoyles. I had Samurai Jack.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, those are good shows. Those are great shows.
Yeah,
right?
But they're not finger on the gun, put the lighter on the trigger finger.
Oh, but
Bard's good.
The original Bugs Bunny. Ooh, some of that stuff.
He was racy.
Oh, not just racy. Ooh, racist, violent.
You're right.
Right? Oh no! Don't underestimate what cartoons, what was being presented in cartoons back in the day. Right?
I don't underestimate that. There's a whole history of really subversive ideas coming through in cartoons, in comics. I mean, if you just look at fucking Dumbo, that was messed up.
Oh, Dumbo. My favorite.
That's an acid trip, dude.
My favorite Disney one is Aladdin.
Oh, I love Aladdin.
He's got a line where he tells Jasmine to take off her clothes. If you don't pay attention to it, you'll miss it completely.
When did he say that?
When he's wrestling with the tiger, right before the date.
I need the quote.
If you let it hear it, you won't notice it. But there's a point where he looks at he goes back to shifts to Jasmine and goes, "Take off your clothes."
No,
right it's right there. It's there.
Now I feel like I'm going down that YouTube rabbit hole where they're like, it's got sex in Lion King. Just got to pause it on that one frame.
No, you know what? Nope, it's there. If you actually go look, you'll find it. I'm not kidding.
Wasn't there supposed to be a dildo in The Little Mermaid?
I have no idea about that one at all.
Yeah, see, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of murky. Do these things exist, or are people just?
No, some of those. Here's the thing, okay? Once you see it happen once, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen again. But what you have to do is you have to acknowledge the possibility.
Oh, have
right?
to acknowledge the possibility. Hold on,
Well,
I just listened. What did that come from? Speaking of cartoons. Oh, Avatar. Okay.
Mm-hmm. See, here's the thing, right? We can the biggest mistake most of us make is like, oh, they would never do that. Sometimes they would. Sometimes they would. Sometimes, but the thing is, right? The thing is, that doesn't mean it happens every time either. In this life, it's better to make very little assumptions, right? And just take things with an open mind. It's possible, right? Because if you have that inbuilt into you, right? It's possible to be in a world with dragons and unicorns and anything, and ghosts and UFOs and.
Are you going to put that into your book?
No. No.
I heard dragon, and now I'm getting the feeling of anything's possible.
Yeah, no, it's so no, but that's just it. Anything is possible. That's the whole point I was getting to. It's not. Do I think that it's possible to? Do I think it's possible that people are abducted by UFOs? Sure. Why not? Right? Doesn't mean that everybody that says that they've been abducted by UFOs has been abducted by UFOs. Probably not. Right?
How about the people who were abducted so well that they didn't even know?
Why not?
Putting that out there.
The thing is, see, it's too much work to be cynical. It's just too much work.
I agree on that part.
Yeah, it's just too much work. I would rather. I interviewed Philip Vernon on the show, and he goes to me because he literally was from he literally grew up in the city that was tested for the atomic bomb. I just nodded head. I believed him. I had no reason not to. He goes to me, I can't believe you just took that, you just accepted that so easily. It's like, why not? It's possible for all I know. It's too much like work to me. If you want to fool me and say you got something, well, congratulations, you got me. I'm a sucker. Congratulations. I don't mind being that kind of sucker. I am old
Wait,
enough.
what did they sucker him into?
Well, no, it like the idea of that what he said wasn't possible. Like I was like, no fucking way you were from that city. It's like, no, I believe you. I have no reason not to believe you.
Oh, I see.
Right? I have no reason not to believe you. Why? I only get suspicious. If there's a history of being lied to. If I get that, then I get suspicious because at that point I have a track record to go by that says you could be lying to me.
Well, it's like
right?
that one question, that one riddle, right? The liar. No, what is it? The liar tells you that they're lying. Do you believe them?
Yes.
Oh, how about no? I think I worded that wrong. The liar tells you that they always lie and that they're lying right now. Do you believe them?
Yes. No. Here's the riddle you're talking about. Do you want to actually hear the actual what you're actually?
Yeah. Let's hear it.
So, it's basically like this: a guy meets two brothers. One says, "I am telling nothing but the truth," and the other one says, "I tell nothing but lies."
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the game. That is the game. The truth is, in that situation, the correct answer is that they're both liars. Because the liar is going to mimic what the truth person says to lie. That's how it's going to work, to truly lie. So they're both deceptive. Ergo, neither of them can be trusted. Right? So when right, that's the answer to that riddle. So what you do is you make them both reveal a path and then go the opposite way because both of them are lying. That's the answer to that. It's the only logical way to do that. But if someone tells me and goes, "Hey, I met God." Cool. What was that like? Right? I don't know. I have no reason to look at somebody. "Hey, Doris, how you doing? Sorry it took so long to get back to you." I have no reason to look at somebody and say you're full of shit until they prove to me they're full of shit. And once they prove to me that they're full of shit, then I don't believe anything they say.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta prove it first. Otherwise, it's too much work for me just to assume you're lying.
Yeah, to assume that somebody's lying is to really be invested in what they're saying, right? And that's I know that's a cynical way to put it, but I don't think about people that much.
That's okay.
I've got other things to think about,
I made a Dolphin Charizard. You want to see Dolphin Charizard?
Let's see Dolphin Charizard.
The reason I say Dolphin Charizard is snapped. It's totally the snapped. It messed
Oh,
up.
hello, Doris Jones.
Yeah.
Hold on. Bring it back. Sorry, I was looking at hello.
Okay, come on. First, go down. Some more.
No, I missed your dolphin.
I'll bring it back.
Dolphin Charizard.
Dolphin Charizard, ladies and gentlemen. This book's almost full.
Full of Pokemon
And Ninja Turtles.
and Ninja Turtles.
And Dolphin Charizard.
It's glitchy a little bit. Hold on. Gosh, I wish I had more than just tiny little pixels to base this off of.
Can you see it from a distance?
I think it's got to be up close, my bud.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That's really good.
It's Dolphin Charizard.
Yeah.
It's not quite right, but it's not bad.
I like. I thought the leg was in front of it, but that's just the belly patch. But try putting the leg in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna share my screen again.
Yes. Go share your screen.
Sure.
Hey, Miss Doris. Like I said, I got a fun one on Sunday. Like 2. I'm doing my chat on Thursday got moved to Sunday, and I made Shani feel very inadequate about a 10-year-old having books.
Okay, I think we should both feel inadequate about that.
I'm over it.
Response to feel inadequate, and then use that to propel us into the future.
I've done that way ahead of you.
Oh, I guess it's just me then, Doris. Me and hopefully you, because this kid has 2 books out. They're 10 years old. Do you have 2 books out? Do you feel as inadequate as I do?
I've had a longer time to deal with it. I interviewed Karina on on the 18th, 9 days ago, and it was like, oh my god,
it's taken that long to process.
It didn't take that long to process. I've interviewed so many people. Honestly, the true magic with what I do is, we're all amazing, right? Everybody's amazing in some way or another, right? So if you can, I know I'm gonna try. Abra. No. So who's the guy with the spoons? What's his name?
Oh, Abracadabra, Alakazam.
Alakazam. There we are.
Brainwashed.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. There's nothing. We'll do the Pokemon thing to close this out. Well, we gotta wrap this up in about 10 minutes anyway because you gotta get ready to go.
Oh, true that.
So, yeah, 10 more minutes.
We spent so much time talking about COVID, we barely got to draw.
That's not true. We've been drawing for about 40 minutes.
Nuh-uh.
About 40 minutes.
I did not spend 40 minutes on this tiny little sketch.
Yes, you did.
Nah.
Yes,
I did not.
You're like, I don't want to think about it. See, that's a sign you've gotten good. See, actually, it's a sign you know more. Because here's the thing. Why I know I'm a beginner, this is why I know I'm a beginner, okay, is deep down, I am okay. I'm not saying I'm bad at this, but I'm okay. But I don't have details nailed down. As you get better at this, you see more details. That's how it works. It's like that with writing too. It's taking me longer to write as I get older, not more, because I see more. Hey, I can make this better. I can do this better, and this better, and this better, and oh shit, I got a story to write.
At some point, it's not even like I can make this better. It's that you've kind of expanded your comfort zone and you're seeing the new horizons,
Yeah, well,
there's so much more that you can do.
Well, that's just it, right? That's just it.
Of course, I know I just said it's not like it, but it is like this. I can make this better. But it doesn't feel like all of it isn't a challenge anymore. Yeah,
it's the same challenge.
Right, yeah.
It isn't the same challenge anymore. It's still a challenge, or else you wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me. You want to do. Don't lie to me.
Shani, you have misled me.
Right?
That's funny. I think we were talking about cartoons at one point.
We did.
And card games. Naruto was definitely a card game. My brother did card tournaments, and he would basically lead me by the ear into these card tournaments. And my God, dude, I never played against him. He was always 1 or 2 in the tournament. I'll admit it. My brother was a dweeb, a total dweeb. He's got like little he's got Tamari from Naruto tattooed on him, and he's got Yu-Gi-Oh tattooed on him. Total dweeb, dude.
So, without mentioning occupations, is it the brother we referred to in the past, or is it another brother?
It's a different brother, but they're both military.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, one, I was that dweeb too. Like, my game was Magic. That was my game. I did Yu-Gi-Oh for a bit, but honestly, my game was Magic. Magic was way more fun, and I had to think about it. I still play card games to this day, but I play now Shadowverse and occasionally Hearthstone. Although I don't compete. I'm just having fun now. It's not the same, right? But I'm still. I love how like. But those are very different kind of interactions in poker. Poker is all about bullying people. So I find poker is.
There is a bit of bullying involved.
A lot of bullying involved. Oh.
It's that brother's riddle. Am I telling the truth or am I lying?
Yeah. That's it. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to, right? There's consequences if you're wrong. That's what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Right? That's what
low stakes, ideally.
Right? You know what? My least favorite hand in poker is pocket jacks. I hate it so much.
It's the what of jacks?
Pocket jacks. I hate it. I hate pocket jacks because
I don't know what a hawk of jack is. I'll be honest.
No. I hate pocket jacks. 2 jacks.
Oh, pocket jack. Okay, got it.
I hate it. Here's why. It's too good not to throw away, but it's still bad enough that almost everything beats it. It's like, God damn it.
You know what? My brother with the tattoo, his name is Jack, and I feel like there's something about jacks just universally that they're good, but they're not great. You know? Okay. older or younger brother? I gotta ask that. Older brother, middle brother.
Oh God, I can see that now.
It's always the middle child. Okay, I've teased him on air, so I don't mean to offend any Jacks or person with the name Jack who may be listening. I'm sure you're adequate.
I'm sure you're adequate. That doesn't, Bill. I'm being real when I say this. I don't know if I'm a Jack. I take that one light. Like I go.
Jack, you're awesome.
Yeah, Jack, you're amazing. Cause my host is saying, don't be mean to just Jack.
Don't stop listening, okay?
I heard
Come
you.
back next time with a comment being like, well, you know what? If all the Shawnees I know, you're mediocre. That's fine. I don't have 2 books out. I understand.
You'll get over it. I swear. You'll get over it. Mm-hmm.
That wound will never heal.
Yeah, it will. It'll be fine. You'll accept it. It's when you realize that a monkey can do your job sometimes that'll.
I would love to see a monkey make this chicken painting here. Okay.
Would you? Would you really?
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing, and then I openly weep for the rest of my life.
I don't think I would be able to heal from that one.
No, I'm just saying, like, this is why I'm not. Are you really sure you want that one?
I need to see that just to know that there's still magic in this world. But at the same time, I think that magic would be quickly sponged from me.
Well, you'd be like this. My brain broke. It happened. I don't know. Right? I saw something I never thought was possible, which was a monkey did this.
It's something amazing and both disheartening that they just canceled each other out.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a neutralizing effect. I'm the same, except darker.
I'm not darker even. I'm just sadder. I'm not even darker. I'm just sadder. I'm sadder. No, here's the ultimate. Like, here's the ultimate one. And because now, not only did he make it, what if he's better than you? Like, that would be the
dude.
That'd be.
It takes me. Right. I see this animal. What is this? A gorilla that we're talking about? Painting this? A monkey that can do my job? I see this monkey do it, and they're better than me, and it leads me on a 5-year spiral. Right.
Exactly. The vendor.
Drinking. I live in a cardboard box. I don't know my life's purpose anymore. And then you flash over to the monkey's life, and they're a professor in college teaching art. They have their side job. They're a graphic designer for the Times Magazine. That is what would happen. That is the future we're talking about.
And then in that future, you're binging and like scoring cocaine just to get through the day.
Yeah, and then like I go to I go to pee on a dumpster, and I reach for the nearest piece of paper to wipe, and it's this gorilla painting. It's this monkey painting on the Times Magazine, and they just do a featured article, and it's this monkey, and they ask, how did you get your start? And they mention me by name.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And then you're like, I made a difference. It's like the next like cocaine binge high.
I end up in the mental ward, and they ask me how I got there, and I tell them this, and they medicate me harder.
And then they join you. They medicate themselves.
Yeah, they would have to after reading that article.
They see him on TV, and they're like, oh god.
And then they come for their jobs. The monkeys come for their jobs, and before you know it, it's the Planet of the Apes.
Why not? And
it all started because some effing monkey wanted to paint a chicken.
No, it was more because like some effing asshole on a podcast said, like, he put the what if. I laughed, then it happened. Now I don't know what to do with myself.
I didn't expect it, and I never healed from it.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll go for 3 more minutes, and then we can show us our works here. I'm done my pitch. I'll wait till the 3 more minutes. We'll get to 10-2, and then we'll talk about the future. We'll talk about,
yes. I'm just trying to make this chicken match the style, but this chicken is also going to be really small, so it doesn't really need to be the exact style. It just needs to give the impression of a running chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to eventually be like teeny tiny little chicken. Aw, it's longer than it is tall. I got to make it fatter.
Mm-hmm.
I got to make it more cartoony. God dang it. Okay. This is why you work in shapes first. This is why you have the advantage. You don't look at the details. The shapes have so much body language to them.
Yes. Alakazam.
Are you showing out?
Not yet. We got another couple minutes. So you get to finish. So, are you going to be busy for much longer with your event job? Or are you going to be heading back into freelancing a little bit more when we get to winter?
Well, ideally we stay busy, but it would be perfect if I could get my routine and my schedule where I want it to be. Right now it's just kind of perfecting that. With the farming and with the event production, that's 2 jobs, and then with the art, that becomes 3 jobs. And how do you balance 3 jobs, right? That's the question.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm working on right now. But I'm pretty confident I'll be on social media again soonish. I got a lot of work packed in, hindsight that I'd really like to continue with. Otherwise, it just puts all that work that I've already done to waste. So I got to follow up on that and just do myself some justice.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Besides, it's not like you become this really awesome, well-known illustrator by not being on social media. I mean, some people get to get away with that.
Well, so remember that link to articles I did at the very top?
Yeah.
So one of them is about connecting with people, right? Mm-hmm. Personal connection with the customers. If you want to everyone wants to go up on the comment section, they can grid there. This came out about a month ago. I didn't realize it till last week it was out. No one told me anything.
Congratulations.
Yeah. It was. But
that's funny.
here's the thing. A buddy of mine and me had this conversation. It's not that you can't. But it's not just about talent. If it was about talent, oh, I'd be screwed. I'd be so screwed. You're laughing. All right. You're loud. You ready? You ready to call it?
Man, a monkey could do it.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Let's stop sharing. Let's see what you got.
Yeah. So this is my alakazam. We can get the spoons quite right, but the rest of it, I like it.
I'm sorry. No, you're frozen. I can't see it. I see a smiling face.
Okay, give it a second.
It's probably on my side.
Yeah, it is on your side.
Oh, am I stuck too?
No, you're not. Just not on my end. Just your end.
Well, I'm working with some heavy-duty computers here. Oh, here we go. Hey, Alakazam! He looks like he's ready for mic night.
He is. He's got killer drum spoons.
Karaoke, got the mics.
Mm-hmm. But no, here's the thing. If it was just about talent, a lot of us would be screwed. A lot of us would be screwed. Let's be very, very honest. Art. Now, I'm not saying that you don't need talent. You do. But the fact of the matter is, it's not just about talent. It's about being able to get out there and shout it to the rooftop.
Get your name out there. It's exactly what it is. Otherwise, you're just enjoy obscurity,
Mm-hmm. No, indeed. It really, really is. So you have to be very careful about. You have to shout. Wait, I said this in the article. The idea that someone's going to do the work to promote you. I mean, you better have seriously. I think one of the greatest viral marketing of all time is a T-shirt which says "shit happens." That was viral. Yeah, that was viral marketing to a T. But that is so rare. That is so incredibly rare. An idea catches on that hard that you don't need to market it. It kind of markets itself. Someone put a T-shirt out there. It said "shit happens." That dude's he's done. He doesn't have to do anything else in this life because it's that shit.
People saw it and they were like, you know what? Yeah, shit does happen.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. Right? But I mean, book-wise, Harry Potter was kind of one of those phenomenons too. There was marketing behind it, don't get me wrong, but it caught on. Right place, right time. It just caught on.
International.
Yeah.
Is that really proportional to the marketing that went into it? I don't know, but it caught on.
Not even close. Not even close. That was one of those miracles, right?
Yeah.
Now Harry Potter gave way to Twilight, which is awesome. Now that was a little bit more marketing, but still well done, right?
Shades of Grey came off of that.
Yeah.
Well, let's not talk about it. Okay, moving on. Yeah, marketing is important.
50 Shades does not tell you, but again, she don't. In her credit, she doesn't care because what she looks at it is, hey, I got my money, and you bought that book. I don't give a shit. And you know what? I can respect that. I can respect that.
Yeah, she knows what she's out there for. It's a business. She's a business person. Not every service, not every product is for every person out there. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about promoting and marketing. It's a business. It doesn't just, oh, look at my pretty picture hanging on everybody's refrigerator. No, they're buying a product.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's just it. And that's why there's the wonderful thing about freelancing is, right? The wonderful thing about freelancing is there is someone for every product, and that's the best thing about it.
Yeah. On both sides.
We've gone nearly 2 hours, my friends.
Here we are again.
So before we wrap this bad boy up,
yes.
Do you have anything coming up that does not to do with your day job at this point in time?
Oh my. Wish me luck. I'm finishing those portfolio pieces. I got the same number of pieces to do, but it's gonna happen. And boy, I would really love if I could. I'm gonna make that a goal for this coming month. I'm gonna go talk to a print shop and see what I can do about getting my holiday cards printed into postcards, right? For the holiday season coming up, I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna get some quotes and some numbers, see what that's gonna look like.
Mm-hmm. Which will be really, 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 really cool. Like, go for it, and make it the most of what's going to happen. And where can people find you if they want to find you? And do you want to do this again? I promise the next time we do this, no COVID talk. No matter what happens in the world.
God, thank you.
Yeah, no. You know what? Like, legitimately, I am going to point out one thing when we're done, but just as just friend to friend. But beyond that, no COVID talk next time. We will focus on something fun and different. Like, at that point, my book will be ready, and we can I can show you some things there, and on top of that, we can talk a little bit more poker theory, because poker, like I said, is about being a bully, and somehow I get the feeling you either play it one or two ways. You either play timid until I take your money, right? And then I think you get aggressive. Something tells me you like actually being a little bit on the aggressive side when you play.
I'll have you know, most people don't expect me to win. And then I win, and then I lose for a little bit, and then I start winning again. So I lull people into a comfort. So I don't get worried when I start losing, because I know it's just a matter of time.
Well, no, it's part of the game. Like, there's ups and, like, the trick is there's those winning points, and then there's those losing points. There are points in the night you are not going to win.
Yeah.
Recognize them, right?
Yep.
And just play conservative, because the hands will come back to you eventually.
You're playing the numbers game, but I'll tell you what, dude, I'm guaranteed almost every time to win at least the first three hands. I don't know what it is. It's like beginner's luck. I've just got that Peter Pan syndrome of poker. Okay, so
the luckiest card player I ever dealt with was believe it or not, my mom. I don't talk about her very much, but here's the thing: that she's legitimately the luckiest card player I've ever played against. One of my best friends, as good as he is, it was incredibly lucky when he played Magic. He was very good. Like, I'm not no knock to his skill. Like, his skill level was there, but he had the luck also to just, when he was in deep trouble and he'd done it, he would get exact, like, he literally hearted the card in Magic. Like, literally legitimately. Right? But my mom was luckier. So much so that we actually changed the rules of Rummy, so she wouldn't come out in 3 turns every 3 games.
Oh my God, she's one of those.
Yeah, you like, she's so, like, she's got that whatever that is, that you just, like, what, like, you can play a good skill game. Like, there is luck involved in these games, but some people, it doesn't matter. It's just the cards will come to them and it just go boom, and you're like, I didn't even get to play. There was one game she averages that about every 3 games. Every 3 games. It's ridiculously lucky. That must
be so comforting for her to know that she's lucky every 3rd attempt.
I did the math myself. I don't think she actually knows it, but I did the math myself. Just like, we played this every 3 games. Within 2 turns, she's out. It's like it's not even fair, right? It's like, wow, right? So.
Do you want to play card games, honey? No, you win. Okay, I'll take your money now. My mom, I got brothers. My mom loves card games, right? And you wouldn't know it by looking at her. She's like this timid, small, tiny person with like really sharp nails that she keeps, just one tiny nail that she has for when she's eating barbecue and she has to scratch a lip, right? I'll tell you what, when it comes to slap games, that tiny nail is digging so hard into your skin, dude. She is so damn fast. She's light. Okay. Whew. I said my piece.
Okay. We'll talk about that next time.
Next time, no COVID cards.
Yeah. We'll just like, no matter how crazy the world gets, no matter how it goes, we'll just talk about that, okay?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Yeah, no, it's just unfortunate. I'm sorry for my COVID therapy. Thank you for being.
It's a lot. It's all right. I'm glad we got that conversation out of the way, because that means future conversations won't have it.
We have to go there. No. but that's it. Promote where people can find you.
Oh yes. Well, my beautiful website is theartbard.com. The Bard of Art. theartbard.com. You could also reach me at the same name at gmail.com if you want to send me an email. That's theartbard@gmail.com. And I'm on LinkedIn. I will get back to LinkedIn, but that's also the Art Bard at LinkedIn. So please feel free to reach out, and I look forward to chatting with you all, hearing all about the kind of stories. I never mentioned it. The Art Bard is all about helping people tell their stories visually. I also do a lot of art. So if you got a story and you want to tell it visually, I want to hear about what is going on. I love plot lines. So let me know. I'm Shani.
Hi, this is Shani. This is Josh. So I got a couple things to say before we go. First and foremost, I got a sponsor starting next week. I'm going to be having Jen Lieberman's Heroes of the What as my first sponsor. We're going to be doing audiobook giveaways. You guys sign up to her newsletter. Her newsletter is going to come up. You're going to start hearing that episode starting next. So Sunday, you're going to hear it here first. I'm going to be experimenting with the ad break. It'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern time with Derek Forum. But Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, you're going to actually hear it officially go like, and it's going to be like this. On September 1st, my first guest is going to be the 10-year-old that actually does 2 books. That makes Shani feel so inadequate.
This kid.
This kid, 12 noon.
God,
He's from Greece. He's awesome. It's going to be great. I have an actor. I'm finalizing the time. It'll be Thursday. I'm looking for someone from Drinking Drop. So for the next month, because I don't know where I'm going to end up, I'm going to be going week by week with the show just for the next month because I'm not sure. We'll talk about dates after we're done off the air. But yeah, guys, things are going to be moving on and up. And for everybody watching, listening, thanks for watching and listening. You support this podcast. You hit the like, follow button on Twitch. Hit the like, follow button on my YouTube channel, Joshua Pentolaresco. Thanks for all the listens, guys. It was a really cool month. I really, really appreciated that. My book, Alice Zero, is nominated for the Elgin Award. I'll be hearing about whether I won or not real soon on that. And my next book, Alice 1, comes out November 1st. Until then, guys, stay inspired, and I'll be talking to you guys really shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you.